key. So, just let's continue. How about that? So let's put those away. All right. I didn't stream last week. I was busy with some other stuff, and also I didn't work on anything for the project, basically, or on the website itself. I did work on something for the project, not on the website, but something for the project, which is, I think, kind of neat, but I will get into that later. I think I'll start, as usual, with the recap, what has been done so far for anyone who's just viewing this video the first time, or is tuning in the first time. The first section that's here is the intro section. It has the animated logo, multi-chain logo, and also the slider with with the most important bullet points there, what the project is about, what you should know, and also links to the specific subpage or this in. So the most important thing, there's a total supply of just one, always, even across networks. Thanks to Connex, we can do that. Bridge super tokens. Then that the token has no real life use case. That's very, very important. It's just a DeFi experiment. It's nothing you should invest. Hey Adi, how's it going? Where are you now? Are you in homeland? In my homeland or in your homeland? Which? Because if you're in my homeland, you should get one of these. No sponsoring? Yeah, then. But you probably in Vienna, you probably get like the Otterkring or something. Which, you know. I mean, that is Gössa. I would say that's probably the beer that most Austrians drink. Or maybe in the area where I grew up. They're definitely. It's the most common beer. Quick recap. Intro, first section, the current status section. Still didn't change something there since last time. Cutie Cat is playing The Sims 4. That's interesting. Then the Get a Fraction page where you can either buy or use the faucet for free if you want to do that. Then we have the relevant transactions. We're going to continue on that today. And there's the old sketch in there. Then the collaborations links, the NFTs, the milestones, the DAO. And one of... Yeah! I guess you have to drink Glühwein if there's no hot chocolate, right? I mean, what you gonna do? You can't drink nothing, right? So, I do have a new idea, and actually I'm kind of curious what you think of it, Adi. I've been thinking about, I mean, I really state here very, very, very directly that the token has no real life use case. That's that's for sure. But I figured that since for example, if you open up the token has 18 decimal points, and the faucet opens up the stream of the last decimal point per second. So one dd per second. And in some case, that's also then basically a timer, a count to count up the time, right? So I've been thinking I'll add one more section to the home screen where I sort of promote other projects or developments or whatever someone comes up with, which utilizes the token to some extent, and which I think is kind of cool. It doesn't have to be like the token itself have any use case. It just has to be a neat idea. And to have one example of that, and also to choose a fairly straightforward and simple smart contract project for myself to figure out how to write and deploy the super token, the super contracts for these super apps and stuff like that. Because you can also make NFTs, which have a graphic or some media file in there, and also a token in there, and trigger a stream to somewhere or to the wallet it holds, whatever you want to. So the idea is I'm gonna make a fraction timestamp contract, which so basically there's the one thing that's the contract itself, which is empty, and the only thing that contract has, the speciality has, is that it allows only incoming streams from one address, from one address, and that address gets defined by whoever holds the key holder NFT, and the key holder NFT has some fraction in there and streams out 0.00001 fractions, or 1 dd, to that contract in there. And once that is going, I'll send the exact current Unix timestamp amount into that contract, also from that account that holds the NFT. So the fraction stream counts up the number every second. So the balance of that contract is always the current Unix timestamp. And I played a little bit with Mind Journey in the last week, and I came up with hold on a second, and I let's see where I have it. Yeah, here it is. And there is some and the NFT itself will look like this if it wants to loop. So that's how the NFT media will look like, with just one very, very minor detail or a mini detail, and that is that the key holder dude here also got animated. And I'll hold on a second. I'll quickly save the latest draft there, and that's going to look like this here, so that you can see that the time is kind of flowing through that key holder dude. And I also found out that you can sort of put video files in SVG files. So I'm probably going to create a script that generates the SVG based on the current infos, so that these values here are always the exact ones. So the stream so far should count up the current balance, how much is in there. I'm not sure if I can actually really do that, but that's the basic idea. So you would have, so one account has this key holder NFT, and that sort of is the guardian or of the fraction timestamp, and then I'm going to deploy all of that on all the 8 chains where the token is also deployed, and give the NFT then to the Gnosis safe that gets controlled by the snapshot DAO. So in theory, if the Unix timestamp just goes forward and that's basically it, then the key holder or whoever holds the NFT only has the power to stop and change the time there, or still has, but you do want to control it in some way. I mean, there could be some extra second through, maybe they change some timings or whatever, and the timestamp changes to some extent. Could be, I have no idea. Maybe you know if the timestamp has changed once, if there's maybe has been stopped for 1 second, or they put an extra second in there. But yeah, that's one of the first side projects of the fraction token itself, which I built to make sort of some example of what you could do. Yeah, I also don't think so that it has ever changed, but I think it's also kind of neat if you hold the NFT then and you're the guardian of the time. I think that's a pretty sick title to wield. Yeah, so, and as you can see, it's the final thing with something in between those two. This one here is the animated version already, but it doesn't have the rendered fraction stone symbol in there, so that it's combined. And it's fairly straightforward. I mean, it just took me 7 minutes to explain where's the complexity in that. But yeah, so that's one of the additional sections I'm going to place in there in the home screen, and then maybe later on it could be that some projects, for example, the timestamp I'm going to deploy on all the networks, but it could be that you're just on Gnosis chain or on Optimism, and that's your home chain, and you just want to deploy something fancy there. Then if there are enough of those projects or experiments of other people who build on top of that, then there's going to be a separate section on the subpages, because every chain gets a subpage explaining only the values, the infos relevant for that specific network, or if you're on that network or you want to go there. And then I'm going to sort of have it the featured ones on the home screen, and then a list of all the cool ones on the project subpage, so it's going to be a longer list. But yeah, I just want to open up the possibility, so if someone is a dev and he likes to play around like I do, or like, because basically the fraction faucet, that's not my idea. We just deployed the token and set up the project and everything, and then Didi came up with the idea, hey, you know what, I could make a faucet for that. And then he sat there for one night and wrote the contract, deployed it, and said, oh yeah, and by the way, there's now a faucet, so there you go. And now it's one of the integral parts how to get the fraction. So you never know where it's going to take you. And I'm actually really curious if there's anyone out there who actually is going to build something on top of that, because that's, if not, it's going to be a completely waste of time. I mean, not really. I'm learning a lot of stuff here. For the web project programming, not that much, but for all what's happening on the blockchain side, that project has been a huge source of knowledge and additional things. And Zach's he's playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Interesting. Yeah, but I think I think it's one of these things where you from the outside it looks super duper complicated, but once you understand the mechanics and how it works, it's sort of straightforward. I think that's what I'm hoping, and I can only tell it from web dev stuff. You know, like programming this animation here. If someone has no idea how to do that, it looks kind of complicated, but in the end, it's also very straightforward and just one step over the other. And yeah. So now I'm going to continue with this stuff here. Whoops. This here, and last time I built this one over here. We calculated all the symbols and the sizes of the corners, placed the icons in there, animated the whale, and today I think I'm going to continue building the lines. And maybe let's make it a bit bigger here. That to the side. So how long are you in Vienna? Are you just doing tourist stuff or for some good reason? Touristy stuff. So Glühwein drinking all the time. You do know that Graz is fairly near. Until Sadie, why are you? Don't you want to add one more day? Go back on Sunday, because there's an Austrian Pavlov player who has birthday on Saturday. Just saying. I mean, not related. So let's close this. Start it down and this one here. And she doesn't want to see Graz. Man, I do have to admit, if you're into touristy stuff, then Vienna and Salzburg is the better option. It's not gonna deny that. But prepare for a high bill in in Salzburg, because that's fucking expensive. Yeah, I mean, no worries, dude. I mean, you don't have to enjoy your vacation, and also, I don't want to be. I mean, it would be kind of nice to meet you again, because we really enjoyed it in Berlin. But I guess you also deserve your vacation, so that Uncle Jeff can be proud of you. Roadmap partners. No distribution. Dude, I renamed that shit so often that I forgot how to actually do that. So let's figure out. I want to add this one here, and that's the expansion 0999. But I'm also going to try something new, just out of curiosity, because why the fuck not? So what I'm thinking, so I exported an SVG file, which is just a straight line, but it's gonna help me then later on to also animate that line. That's why I'm making the SVG file there. And it's there's already in every item there's a subcontainer called line, and I'm going to place that line in here. Although, okay, let's finish the thought first. And the line is just plain point to point and then a white line. But I'm also trying to see how it would look like if the line changes the color from here to here, so that the lines aren't white. So, hey, 8-bit Zeph, how is it going? I'm really fine. It's 9 p.m. here, and I'm drinking Deaf beer here and working on one of the last missing sections of the home screen. So since you asked in Discord what the token actually is about, I'm going to jump back. Already heard it, I think, now for the 15th time, but I'm happy to tell it anyone who listens to. So the fraction token, I'm currently here building the V2 website. So the old one is still this temporary one, but you can see the launch page. That's this one here. It launched 1.5 years ago, and in the meantime, I started the multi-chain expansion. So what the token is about, it just has the total supply of 1, so you can always only get a fraction of it, hence the name. And it doesn't have any use case. So no, it doesn't, Adi. It doesn't have any use case except for measuring the time on the fraction timestamp contract. But in real life, no. So the token itself, it's a native streamable super token. Means you can stream it from one account to the other. And so the most important stuff is here in that intro section. So that's that the token evolved from this single chain token, as you can see here, only on the Gnosis chain, to this multi-chain token that can be bridged from one chain to the other, but the total supply always stays 1, even across chains. So if you move 0.001 fraction from Gnosis chain to Optimism, then it's still the this here, it's a DeFi experiment. It's not about the money. It's so the token has no real life use case. Let's be clear about that here. And the goal is just for the token to split up as much as possible over as much as possible, of as many as possible chains, although there are 8 right now. So people can play with it then later on. And the price is just a reflection of the interest into the project. That's not what the project is looking for to get the highest price. Although the current price is close to $24,000 on CoinGecko. Let's see what the current one is. So, yeah, almost. Let's see, because I only grab this information once every 4 hours to not the. So you mean, how do cryptocurrencies in general give you money, or what's exactly the question? If you phrase it more, then I might be able to give you the correct answer there. Yeah, that's but that's probably the Glühwein, why you only understood a fraction of that. Yeah. So but how do you crypto give you money? Like, how does pay when you redeem it? I'm not so sure if I really understand the question itself. So basically, to one extent, there's you can earn money in the crypto space by there's several venues in there. Invest $1 in Bitcoin. 2 days later, it's skyrocketed a lot of money, and I want to receive money. Who pays you? Okay, so that's basically the that's how markets work. Any market, based on supply and demand. So if let's say I have one beer here, and I buy this beer today for $10, let's say, and then tomorrow someone else comes here and tells me, hey, I want to buy that beer from you, and I'm gonna pay you $10, and I'm gonna have to stand. Maybe I say to him, yeah, and you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. And then he says, you know what? I'll pay you $12. And then Audi comes along and says, hey, I'll pay you $20. And then I say, hey, you know what? Now I'm gonna pay. I'll sell that to Audi for $20. It's 50% increase. So whenever there's more demand than supply, the price goes up. And if there's more demand, so if, for example, if you sell socks, for example, and there are hardly any socks there, the price will go up because more people want them and they are willing to give more money for that. But if you have 100 socks you want to sell, and then some other company comes in and says, hey, you know what, we have 20,000 of those in here and we're gonna sell them for 50 cents, then it doesn't really matter how many you have or what the price is, because they are just undercut you. So the money comes from other people who buy it from you on a higher price, basically. So if you have ever traded at some point in anything, but I think as crypto is one of the most easiest stuff to get into trading. Yeah, so that's basically what Odyssey says. There's basically another person that wants to buy the Bitcoin that you have. So, and he's willing to pay more than you. So it's basically, you can imagine the other way around. That's basically, I think that's more, it's better to also understand the logic there. So you buy one fraction. Let's not use Bitcoin, let's use fraction. Because you buy 0.001 fraction for $1,000, for example, and then the price plummets because a lot of people sold it, and then the price goes down. And if you then sell it, and then the price is for this 0.111 fraction is now $500, and you say, you know what, before it's going down even further, I'm going to sell it as well, which then also pulls down the price. Then you spent $1,000, but you only sell it for $500. So where are the $500? Those are somewhere else to that one person that bought the fraction from you there. It's a little bit different because that's a DeFi project. So there are these pools. I can show it to you on Honeyswap. Oh, it's so nice that I already have all these links here on hand. Oh. What? I think I'll set too much here. Transfer to. Oh, I didn't put it in there yet. That's good to know. So I can show you here. Here's, for example, the Honeyswap token chart. no, there's no some mega quadrillion, but it's always this supply and demand, and there's also some shady things are always going on. For example, the whole diamond market. It's basically there's one big company or one consortium, and they buy up all the diamonds to keep the price up, because if they would release all the diamonds, then the price would plummet and they wouldn't make money anymore. So it's always how the demand is and how the price is. So for example, if you for fraction, for example, it's a DeFi experiment. So it's on one of the DEXs, the decentralized exchanges where you can trade it, is Honeyswap, for example. And there's now liquidity of a few $1,000s in there, and that's the amount where you can, that's your margin where you can trade inside. And if you buy fraction of there, then you put money in there and the price goes up. And if you sell fraction, you take some money out of that pool and the price goes down. And each time someone does this, puts trades from one to other, either buys or sells it, then the people who provided that liquidity in that pool, they get 0.5 or 0.05% of your trading volume. And that's their revenue. So doesn't matter if the price goes up or down, these liquidity providers, they make some small portion of the money in there, but they also take the risk in case the token isn't worth it anymore. And you also have something called I don't know the name, but it's impermanent loss, where you especially when a project starts, the price and everything sort of doesn't account anymore for the fees that you actually earn there. But no, there is no mega quadrillionaire that pays thousands of people millions of dollars. That is not the case. So it's basically all these people who make a ton of shitload of money in crypto mostly made it by. So if the price always would go up, which it can't, but in case, then everyone would be a winner, right? So you buy it for $1, then it's worth $2, then it's for $8, and each time someone else buys in to get that the price goes up. And at some point, people can't afford it anymore, or don't want to, or lose the interest, or something collapses or so. And then you hit the tipping point where people then say, okay, you know what, that's overvaluated, that's not, I'm not going to play in that. And then they start selling their stuff, so the price goes down, and then other people see that and think, oh, you know what, it was going up all the time, now it's doing a steep dive, maybe there's something I didn't know, and they also sell there, and then the downward spiral starts. And everyone who didn't sell on time is basically gets less what they put in there, and that's the difference that the other one earned. Except if you go bankrupt or you steal it or something, then that's sort of always a shady thing. But that's usually how markets work, up and down, up and down. Hello, viewer number 3. We just tuned in. 8-bit Zeph asked how markets in general work and how people can make money in the crypto area via trading, where the money comes from. And then that's the current website I'm building for the V2. So that's the first section, the introduction that explains the most important stuff here. And then you can see an overview how the token distributed across the different networks, the percentage of the token. These ones here are grayed out because on Celo there's no superfluid protocol yet. Yeah, I mean you have to I'm not sure how the English translation of that is, but in German there's a saying that basically translates, if you don't account for the cent, you're not worth the dollar. So I'm happy for everyone who tunes in. If there's no one, that's a little bit sad, but if there's one, then it's already worth it. So so that's the current status. Most of the infos are actually based in reality. That's kind of the current percentage of the distribution, since the majority is on Gnosis chain, of course, because it launched there 1.5 years ago. But the numbers aren't the actual numbers from right now. That's sort of hard-coded right now, but I'm going to gather that later on when I'm doing all the GraphQL and the stuff here. You can get a fraction by buying it on an exchange, or use the faucet in there. Then that's the relevant transactions. That's the thing I'm building tonight. And then there's the shout out with the links and some infos. Here's the list for the NFTs. There's the milestones and roadmap, the overall roadmap, and here's the DAO where everyone who holds fraction can vote in the organization. So basically it depends how do you want to get it. So if you don't want to spend any money, you can use the faucet, which is currently only available on Gnosis chain, but it will be available on launch on all networks. So how it works there, you make 0 transactions, you send 0 XDAI, so no value, you only have to pay for the gas fees, and send it to that address, or then later on to the ENS there. And that opens up a continuous stream of fraction from the faucet into your wallet, and the last decimal per second. So after 5 seconds, you have 0.0005 fraction. After 100 seconds, you have 0.00101, and so on and so on and so on. But if you already have crypto and you want to buy a little bit more because you either want to build your own project on it, or speculate on it, or think that the project has maybe value and the price will go up, so you will, but it's like, I can't overstate that too much. It's not about the price. I don't care about that. But if you want to own more than the faucet can give you, you can always buy it, and you basically just select whatever you're holding, and then say you want to exchange this on that chain for this on that chain, and then it takes you to the transfer to, and there you can then swap it by just connecting via MetaMask or Wallet Connect or something, and then you can do your trades there. So that's how you can get it. There will be at some point later on in the future, that's part of the roadmap here. You can see there's the fraction dashboard. That's something that's going to be when the multi-chain expansion is finished. So basically when the website is done, all the subpages are done, the menu is done, all the contracts are deployed, the new NFTs are there. So it's a long list still. It's still a long list what needs to be done. Then one of the next things on the list I want to do is the fraction dashboard, where you can connect your wallet on that website and then start and stop the faucet by just clicking one button. So right now you would have to do that manually, either scan the QR code or type this here in, and then send a zero transaction to that, and that would open up the stream. But in the future there should be also then the dashboard, where it's a D app, where a super D app, where you can then do all that stuff there, and probably some more stuff that's right now only in my mind. But yeah, and then there's also the scavenger hunt, but I think we're going too far with that. And I'm also thinking about Adi. I'm not sure if you're still here, but I'm also thinking about then when the website is finished, I'll also make a WebVR version of the website, so that you can walk through the website in VR. So okay, so stream 45 minutes in. I mean, I kind of did something like that at some point before already, for the VR Graz website, where you can you have these normal error messages that are absolutely planned, but you can also enter here the WebVR version, and then it loads up a 3D environment, which renders all the stuff you see here comes from the content management system itself. Also these infos here, there's just nothing yet, but it gets generated by the values from the database. And if you hit here the VR button, then it would switch over or start Steam VR or whatever, and then you can also view it with the VR headset. So that's something that very likely will also happen for the Fraction website, but step by step. So one over the other. Okay. So let's continue with this here. So 8-bit Zev, I'm not sure how tech savvy you are. If you said you just came home from school, I'm expecting that you're probably not an active web dev or something. But if you have any questions, then feel free to ask them. I'm always happy to explain it. So I think before you joined, we were talking about that line here. No, I mean if you're program savvy, that's tech savvy, and so if you're programming yourself, or if you what's your, because if you do understand the code I'm writing here, then I'll probably will explain a little bit less during. Oops, let's get there. So we have here important transactions. So we are going to duplicate this one here, go with 9, and we already know that that's 610. That's 6. Don't want to. And that is 9. Yeah, perfect. So basically that whole website, everything what you see here is plain HTML, CSS, some very tiny bit of JavaScript. So that's all the JavaScript that's running on the site. I mean, tiny is, but the animations in there are all also. Yeah, that's no. I think he's. What do I? So, but yeah. So everything you see here is it's static. There is some PHP going on behind the scenes for that stuff, and also the logo in here. It looks like this, but it's basically SVG and CSS animations in there, and that's basically it. So I guess you probably should be fine to follow to some extent. And also, if you have a better suggestion how to do stuff, then feel free to drop it, because I don't know everything. I just do whatever I've figured out at some point. Okay. Yeah, we do. I mean, it's funny because sometimes you do the same thing over and over and over again, and then you find out, oh my god, this is so much easier that way. And then you look back and think, holy shit, I hope nobody ever reads that code. And then, I mean, that's not really a true thing, because the people do know what they are doing. They do what they do what actually what they know what they're doing. So it's not like you're you're in the Stack Overflow loop in there. That's so okay. So, boom. Okay, right. So now we have here are all the containers. Let's make it a little bit bigger for you guys on the stream. I mean, I do have that also a few times where it worked and you didn't know why or something like that, and you said to some extent, you know what, if it works, fine by me. Let's keep it that way. But I think in any case where that happened, I went back and figured out why, because it kind of bugged me. And also I don't really do that complicated stuff. So yeah, it's just web dev. It's not rocket science. Okay, so we have here all these containers in here, and every container holds also a container in it which is inner, and in that inner, that's responsible for the lines in here. So not really during the night, but it sometimes it happened a lot, very often, where I wasn't really sure how to align stuff. Not really coding problems, it's more like design stuff where you don't really know how which approach would be the best one. So for example, this timeline here, that's I think round number 4. So we had circles, we had a pie chart, we had a block that expanded like, and everything sort of felt okay in the beginning, but when you start building it, then it's some way went sideways. And it happened quite a few times where I was designing stuff and I didn't really know how to do that. And then I said, you know what, fuck it, I'll go to bed, I'll sleep over it. And then when I lay down in bed, I sometimes get a good idea, and then I get up again and get to the computer and at least make some notes, or really start doing it then right away, as long as everything is fresh. So that's more of the stuff that's happening before there. And for the coding, it's more that you're stuck at some point and then you just need some distance to it, and then the next day, or when you go back into the office or over the weekend or something like that, then you go there and you sort of see it a little bit from a fresher perspective, so you get to stay a step back to some extent. I'm not sure if I should tell you, but there is sort of something, and it's built into every browser, and it's called the code inspector. So you go here, or just simply press Q or F12. Then it opens here these development tools. I'm not sure how it's. I might not know each word of that in English, but what you can do here, so for example, if I'm not sure where to place this box here, I can click here, inspect it with Q, then it selects it here in the DOM, and you can see here on the side, you can see the complete the CSS I already put in there, and you can edit it here. So if I place the cursor in here, I can also edit those with arrow up and down. So if I count up these numbers here, it moves that down here. So what I'm actually doing, also if you do shift, then you can go in tens. So basically you sort of say, yeah, that's okay. So it's 210. And then I'm also going to blah, 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 blah. And the next, or font size 229. Oh yeah, no, that's too large. Let's make it a little bit smaller, and so on and so forth. So you make the container, declare the classes, make a CSS container in the class, and then you place one or two things in there, and then you sort of you do have to know which attributes you're going to use. That's for sure. But if you're not sure which is, yeah, I mean, there is also something like that where you can click and drag the element and it's like free moving and placed anywhere. But the biggest problem with those stuff is that quite a lot of CSS is relative, you know, so that it should behave differently based on the viewport. So the viewport is always from this corner here to the corner down here, and you do want to behave it in the exact way as you want it, because then at some point, if you also want to add animation stuff and everything else, then you need to prepare it the correct way so that it can work like you want to. So for example, these 8 arms that are extending here, you can see that if we scroll down into that, then it opens up and they sort of move to the side. And I can only do that by placing all of them in the middle and then shifting them off, and then later on animating another value with that. And that only works if you know in advance what you want to achieve, and then you select the specifics. That is. So yeah, there are things out there, this CSS code generator or drag and drop editors and stuff like that. But that's more like, I have a box, that one is 1000 by 1000 and then I'll place one thing in there and in there and in there, and then the other thing there. And I want to have these, yeah. So for that, I think it works good. But since every element here that you can see here is hand-built, hand-drawn in Illustrator and then achieved later on, so nothing here is stuck or something. So I also want to have the full control to also then make it appear, because you can see here there are only these elements placed, and it's going to look more like this here than later on. But if you scroll to that section then here, then it also should build up in the correct way like we want it to. So and it could be hard to actually do that, because sometimes values interfere, or it does work on the desktop, but as soon as you go then over and make the responsive styles for the smartphone, then everything goes sideways. So there's a lot of things to think about in advance to make it work then. Okay, so 1 hour into the stream and I didn't place one single line in there. That's interesting. That's a new one. It's a new stream. So we do have this one here. Let's load this new also. Liquidity. That's number 9. That's the line. Okay. Oh yeah, I probably should also upload the. There we have the line. Okay, whoops. disable it. Oh, you know what? Is actually the quick question: is the mouse clicking annoying on the stream or okay? Because it's if annoying, then I'll switch over to the graphic tablet. Anyways, I think we also wanted to take a quick look if we do that. If we can make this line here. So basically, right now in the layout, because everything is work in progress, of course, we have these full boxes here. As you can see, they already look different right now, but the lines are white. So what I'm thinking now is, because here the token got bridged to polygon, and I've been thinking, how could it look like if the token has a gradient from green to the purple? So because every color here is the official color of that specific network. I think I saw. Let me take a quick look there, because I think I saw something today in the optimism. Hey, yeah, thanks 8-bit Zap for tuning in. I'm doing these streams every Monday and Thursday, so whenever you have time, tune in, even if it's just to say hi. Let's see. Can we? No. It's always white. Okay. So we are going to have this here. Let's fix that part on optimism. Let's. Icons. Okay. I think we have to reopen that. Okay. And very good. Okay. Because we don't want to, if someone else gives out the brand kit, then it should be gotcha, you fucker. Okay. So, gradient line for the 7th time now. Let's see if we can do that. And we want to make that, oops, simple, so. Okay. Isn't there? Yeah, love. I don't see it. Where is it? Where is the fellow? Okay. We just remove that and there it is. So we want to is there a palette? Let's edit that later on with the, because I don't care. So why is it still white over there? Yeah, that's more like it. So now we save that copy and say that's the gradient. Then we go up here, here. Okay, okay. Then we have here the gradient. That's gradient, and we also need to edit this one here. So there's the analysis to polygon, and oops. So then here to polygon. Okay. In theory, that should work. Ew. I mean, I actually think it looks nice. It looks better than the only white one. So we are going to also edit the new ones. Holy shit, there's a bunch of stupid stuff in here that nobody needs. Here's number one. Oh, and also generate. Okay, skip that one as well. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is also in there. Okay, and the stream itself, it's the same. So actually I like it. Maybe let's also adapt this one here. Okay, did them below. That's the stream one, so we don't give right. %, then it should lock in exactly on this edge here. No? Yep, it does. And then we can either make that add some width, or we just move that in here and say that's 730, and I think we're good with that. Okay. I mean, I like it. I really start to. It's. I think we're getting somewhere. Maybe. I should make that a little bit thicker. I like thick lines, and I cannot lie. Is that? Not sure if I'm getting. Okay, it's exactly that. So we do define a stroke width there. Same for you. But I think I'm just gonna do that for the first ones because what the okay, that makes sense. So we have 2. I don't get it. I think that's something for this to discover later on. I think it might be the scaling because I'm filling in the stroke. I think that's basically just the scaling. It's because it's 1 or 2 pixels off, and if I scale it down, then it would probably, if I expand it, and then this line really starts to flicker a lot. Okay, so now we have here the 800. T9 will get 110. So, okay, then we have that in here. So, the next thing. But I think I also need to make that bigger. Stroke width is 2. What is your problem? Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I'll drop. Hey, Adi, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your time in the land of the mountains, and yeah, let me know if you come somewhere close. Thanks, Adi. Bye bye. What interesting is, why is the line? Oh, well, it's from the top, so we do need to add the margin top -5 in there. Okay, and that means that line number 2 must be, yes. Okay. I would say then we continue this one here on top. Yeah, I do need to separate those because they need to be different. So we are going to say that's top and left $220, and we are going to move that somewhere here. Left 810, 210 for number 7. Okay. So that's there. And I say that's line number 7. Okay. Then can move the right there. Okay. So we do want to have the intersections not on the height but on the width. So we're going to do this. See? And now the first one is correct. What? Are you kidding me? $270. I think we need to overhaul a few parts here. $70. Then this one here. $59. That's go with the same. Four and I do have a feeling that I'm going to redo those anyways, because I think I might have the order wrong when I want to open them up, because now the complete container and the center one of that is here. And I can't, okay. Oh, I didn't know that I can drag stuff around here. That's interesting. You never learn. That is the stream animation. So good. That's also fine. Let's say that's good too. And there we say that is just, that's basically not really a transaction. So I would say it's probably fine to also have the right in here. Huh? Yeah, I mean, of course, that's, then I have to do here the margin top -5 pixels now to have it in the center, and then we say 70. That's probably still too much, it's probably more like 60. Okay. 0.07. So okay, but that's probably good. So okay, now we have that in there, so it should be okay. It got minted here, then it's split up into these 4 with either with 0.5. Hey Peter, you missed me doing 1 hour, basically no development at all, and just explaining stuff over and over again. I did a quick recap what happened so far, what's going to happen today. Then there's also this discussion here, because in the original the lines were white in here, but I changed that now to so that the lines always represent also the chain itself, which makes bridges as a bridgings between chains more obvious, because the color changes to that, which is probably going to look cool when it goes here and then splits up over and over again, especially here, because that one will still remain normal. That's going to have a gradient, that has a gradient, that has a gradient, that has a gradient, and they're back to red itself. What I'm currently not 100% sure is if I really should have them at 100%. So I might scale that down to some extent. I can take a look how that looks now. Let's see. Let's take this one here and open up number 2 and give that in here. And let's say we just start it down to the half. Yeah, I mean, not that good, right? Let's have that also once. Yeah, I think I might this might be subject to later on for the animations, so that the lines really guide you through that. But I'm gonna leave that one in here, and I might edit that out at a later point. So we have this one in here, and I also explained to Adi the fraction timestamp things. Oh, now I can show you the that's how the graphic will look like with the balances in there, and then also is that it? No. Let's make sure that I'm not showing off some secret stuff. So here we have the animation, and you just have to imagine that the oops, come on, Windows 11, that's kind of sucks. So you do have to imagine that the animation part is then in here, so you still feel like the time is flowing through, but it also has this dimmed eyes face here, and also the fraction token in here, which is placed in there, and come on, yeah, and also then the animation here on top. And I think I also will place here or here the multi-chain symbol, and then here the symbol for the key holder on which specific chain there is, because there are these logos which only have the one shadow in between the network specific shadow in there. So that is the, but I think it looks kind of neat how it flows down in that infinite loop. And it's time to refill. So, cheers. Yeah. So that is that part. And yeah, so last time I did the positioning of all the different transactions, the important transactions, so you can see how the tokens split it up in there. Now today I'm going to hopefully finish up these connecting lines in here, like they're down there, and then in the next steps that they are getting animated when you come to that section in there, and also that if you hover it, that you can see what that transaction is actually about and some additional infos. Although I'm not so sure if previously I wanted to let them expand to some extent, so that there's like this head-up display and then it expands out of the circle in there. But I figured that it probably, or then have one of these small which get them bigger to 100%, so you can actually see what's going in there. But I feel like that's not going to work out would work out with bigger items, but not with the smaller ones. So I think I might just place down here or somewhere a box stating making an entry for each one of these, which is maybe like an accordion or something that can open up. And if you click on that, it marks it, or if you hover it, it marks the element in there. And if you click on it, it expands it and then scrolls you to that. That's the latest idea I have, but I'm not 100% happy with that, although that section bugs me already a little bit and I want to do some cool stuff again. So I need to, and of course I would also then animate all these logos in here, because I mean right now I have these arrows here animated and then the whale, but yeah, could be nicer. Key. So then we can take, let's take this one here, because I also don't really want to split symmetric up. I mean, technically it's two separate transactions in here. Actually, it's I think 3 transactions to fill up the symmetric liquidity pool, but they are only a few days apart and the amounts are so tiny that it would make a lot more sense to just combine all of them and place that in there. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so in that case we are going to grab this one here, then we make a new one, then we close that, then we grab this one here, then we double click on that, then we do that, then we say we want that in the correct color. Okay, so perfect. And then we can take a look here really quick. Which item is that? That is IT number 8. So we are going to save that as line number 8. Okay. So now we have this one in here. So we go down, 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 down. Oops. Scroll it down a bit. So now we have their line number 8, and the height here is, okay, so we take that for 100 and that is now 50. Okay, so it's for me easier to organize next time, and then we align it correctly, and then we, oops, no, that's not good. We need to set here at the edge of time. So okay. Hello, viewer number 2. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I'll explain any question you might have. If you, I'm not so sure if, I think I'm streaming on the crypto channel. Yeah, I'm on the crypto channel. So if you would like to know more about the token itself, then just drop a question and I'll explain. If you're more of a dev and want to know more how or why something is built like this, also feel free to drop that question. So I think we updated this one here, then we can upload it. Then we have here that one, and the height is, I think we already know that it's 100 and the width, the height is 50, the width is 100, 25, and that we can delete again because I don't need that anymore, and we can see, so why is that off? Interesting. So I guess this is a little bit too big, so let's scale it down to the half there. Which actually isn't that bad at all. So I think I'm gonna keep that. But we do need to increase the width of that stroke, so we have stroke width and set that to 3 for now. Yeah, I think that's good. And let's move all of that sure as that. I mean, there are a lot of stupid numbers now, and that's the super duper boring part when building stuff like that. But I haven't figured out a better way to deal with that. So I'm gonna leave that in. So we have that one. Let's prepare that for a second. So okay. So yeah, that looks kind of good. Okay, and then we also we grab that. And duplicate that. That's 21. So okay. And now Not too sure if I should pulse them. I mean, it could be kind of nice. So have it like this, and because here it's a normal transaction and I want to show normal transactions by having this space here in between. That's why there's always the calculation right 100% plus 10 pixels. You can see it here. So the position of that line is always 100% to the right, so it's to the left of the circle, and then additionally 10 pixels, which make that separating part in here. But I also think that if there's a stream going on, it should be connected because it's tied together to some extent. And here it's not a normal transaction because actually, and I'm not sure how to display that in a good way, is here we have the huge whale with 25% of the token, and it streams that to this one here, and then over time that one grew, of course, which has now exactly this size. That's the exact size at that time when I made the symmetric transaction. And then over the time the token get streamed even more in there, so it grew even more, and I'm not sure how I should display that. I've been also already thinking about having it smaller on this edge here and then expanding it so it's like this, going like this. But I'm not so sure if that really sells the message. So what if I make those also like pulsing, and maybe even let's make the big one. Let's duplicate this one here and have I would say it would work if we have one line, that's the ST0, and that's the one that isn't animated, and it only has a stroke width of 2 now, and that one is also the one that's a little bit transparent. So let's say 0.5 and stroke width of 2. And the other one, that's the second one, I think it needs to be here on top to overlap, and we say that one is full. Yeah, let's go with full for now. And it's a little bit wider, and it also is animated, and I'm just going to steal that stuff from here because I'm a lazy fuck. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so we have the stroke width of a little bit thicker. Then we have the dash array of 200, the offset 0. Then we have the, let's call that pulse line. Jeez. Okay. And we don't want to, do we want to have some opacity here? Let's not do any opacity, because that would just take additional load, and if we multiply too many animation parts, then, because right now I'm already getting into some tiny troubles on mobile to get everything work out smooth in there. Okay, maybe make that linear so it doesn't do. Yeah, that linear. So now it's a continuous stream. And let's see how it looks if we make more of these. That's also not good. So either I go down to 10 and like this is super pulsy. I'll increase the time to 5 seconds. I mean, it looks like kind of oldish, but it sells the info so that you can see. So if I put that down here, I mean, that really sells the message that it streams in here and from here to here to here to here. Although the initial stream animation is now doesn't really. Maybe I should dial that down a little bit to make that only 1 and that 2, that a little bit smaller. The dash array is 25. And also the opacity way less, so like 75, and then that one that we overlap also 75%. I think I do need to crank up that dude here, because I think I do need to go to 1 here. And maybe also start here with 55. It does look better, I would say, but let's also put that in here for once. Okay, what if we place that same animation also down here below in the, I mean, it's probably getting a little bit, but we can take a quick look by just simply moving that a little bit to the side, and voila, that would look like this. And to be honest, it looks shit. I'd say that's probably enough so far. I mean, it should. So you see that the weight here opened up the stream and that it increased over time. Maybe I should also make sure that should I? Okay, quick question to the chat if anyone is still watching and can write messages. We have here the whale accounts and all that stuff, and that one here is the treasury. That's the one where the reserved part gets streamed in there, and once it's in that wallet, then the project can do with it whatever it wants. So provide liquidity, fund some other stuff, do fancy shit. The question is now, I do have these here now fully locked. These here all have this softened, this transparent background and the border in there, and only the treasury has this full background. So should I keep that because it really indicates what the project owns, or make it also that so all of them are the same? I'm not sure why is. It's actually a good question. Why is that? Yeah, because I specifically marked it like that. So then it would look, this one here would look like this, and this here would then look like this. Oops. Yeah. I would say it looks better if that's always filled, because also that's the only one that gets filled via a stream, and that I think underlines it even more, that you see, oh, okay, here's the token, that's a normal transaction, now it's in there and nothing happened with that transaction. Now there's a normal transaction here, or basically it's left over in that because it's still a whale, and then the stream got opened up, then the stream went on, so the amount in there increased, and it was enough to put something away. Then it increased even more and more over time, and then it grew to that size in here. So I would say that that's probably the best because then I can also fill up these ones here, and it's really, really obvious that you can see that these are the treasuries. I think I'm gonna do that. So we have here number 6. So we also apply that to number 21. 21. Okay, for everyone who's, if viewer number 2 is the first time who's watching in here, I sincerely apologize for the boring stuff I'm doing right now, because everything here is just doing some calculations and getting the numbers in there, so the fancy stuff happens usually on other streams. There's nothing so much interesting here at this point. Yeah, but the good part is we have a few connections in here. So we are going to continue with number 10, and number 10 is similar to number 9 with just one difference, that it's not that big of a width, and also that we can take that here. Okay, then we duplicate that. Let's call it number 10. Then we already know that we only need this one here. We don't want to fill it. We do want to, where's the gradient? Where's the gradient? There's the gradient. We just wanted to have the polygon color, and let's keep the stroke width by number 2, and the rest we don't need. Also, we can get rid of the 1 and the comment here on top. So that is number 10. So number 10, and take a look. We now do have that line here, but we need to move that up just by 1 pixel, because for some reason I had 361 in there. 360. Okay. Okay. And then we are going to cut that down from the width, so it's 15 minus 10. Oh, okay, let's increase that again. So here's not that much. That's enough. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. So we do have now here top 12. That looks good. And then we take the line here. So we have the height of 10. The width is 109 only. Margin top is normal, and that's it. So that's where we are there. Then we can do exactly the same, and we just duplicate number 10 and just make sure, because that is number 12, so we can duplicate number 10 to number 12, save that, copy that, make number 12 here. Also, we already know that it's not that big, so we just do it 50, and we need number 12 here. That's pretty on spot, but it's not in the right position yet, so I would say, that's good. Top 340 something. I go up here to 12, 64, and good. We have the line here. Now we want to connect these here, and for that we are going to make new ones, I would say. I'm just going to build those really spot on, so how I want them. not exactly like I wanted. So we are going to get here and here. To make sure we have this 45 angle in here, and I mean I don't extend it ever down here below from this 90-degree angle, so it probably could use another version. Let's see how would it look like if I mean it does enter all the time at 90 degrees to the left there, so actually that one should, I guess the correct version would be actually this one here. Good by me. Good for me. Oops, that's not the... So let's take a look. Which one is that? That is probably 11 and 13. Okay. Okay. Take this here, put this here at 11 and 11. Let's keep that just for a second, even if it's probably too wide. Okay, and we do know now do need 131. So let's do 32. Then we can do the margin top by 16. And the width. Oh, okay. The height is 22, and the width is 32, and then the margin top minus must be 11. Or the margin top, we don't need any more anyways, don't we? Okay. So what if we have here, right? Calc percent minus 5 pixels. looks like now. Let's also add the same for number 13, because we already know that's going to be sort of the same here. Upload that, and yeah, I mean, I would say it's fine. You can move this a little bit here, so it's 30. That's probably better. 13. So, okay. Awesome. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. So, I think I might gonna do these missing connection lines here today. These will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these 10 lines. It's probably gonna take 45 minutes. So I'll stop the stream whenever either this here is the lines are in there or the clock hits 3 hours. So I don't want to go further than 3 hours today. Okay, so we do place the next line in here, which is for number 14, but we should align that a little bit horizontally, so that's probably like this. Yeah, that's good. 31. Okay, that is number 14, top 74. And then we take, it's 14, so we duplicate the number 13. Is it number 13? No, it was 12, right? Yeah. So number 12, duplicate to number 14. And the line 12, 13, 14. Let's take the number 12 because that's the better one. 14 and also 14. Okay, but we can extend that to 200. A bit much. So isn't that perfect? The pixels is exactly the chain ID of polygon for a polygon item. So, and then we also have here the one, and we move that one down by 83, 84. What's it? That's better, 84. And then we also have an old CPU architecture. Insider over insider over insider. Isn't that fun? So we have this one here, and then we can take number 14, duplicate that to number 15. Let's get that up here. Then we take 14 and say that's now number 15. Let's keep that for fun's sake. Okay, and then we close it down. But we might want to use that same here, 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 and then that's 30. I know what. Let's keep that separator steady, because but is that the same amount? It is. Yeah, it is. It's 10 pixels. Okay, so we now have that here in place. Get a better overview there. We that not to the right top. Okay, so now what we need to do is we do have here that small tiny portion, and we are going to place number 16 exactly on that line. So that's 88, that's number 16. Number 16, number 16, 16. So that's correct now. And then we take the stream. That's this one here. Take that one. Oh, come on. Where is it? That's the one with the stream. So we say this is 16 now. That's the line. The width is probably just 100. We don't really care about the rest here. Let's see real quick if that does look correct. It kind of does, although that one here. Yeah, I think I need to fix that first. Let's make sure that this one here is on the exact line it should. So it's here. 1, 3, 8, 9, 16. Okay. Now we move that back out here, and then we figure out that this here should actually be -3. 16 -3. So, okay. And then we extend that line by 115. 100 with 115. Okay, and then I close these lines here, except of the one with the gradient, because we are going to pick that one. We're going to duplicate that one. That's now number 16 stream. We change the color to polygon, and also change that one here to 16 as well. And now the animation should have this pulse, but in polygon, the polygon color. Okay. So now things get a little bit complicated, I would say. Because we do have the weight here, and then that's here. Okay, if I color those in, then the logic doesn't work anymore. So we are going to try something new. Interesting, there's one missing, because I think that's, oh, okay, that's the placeholder already for the Celo and Ethereum deployment. Think about it. Okay. Okay, never mind. Let's start with the things we are for sure that we're going to need, and that is that line and that line, and that one is a straight line, so we can use basically whichever straight line we have at this point. Probably wouldn't be a very idea to just take the background size to 100% at 100%. Let's give a very quick look how that would look like. Because auto 100% means that it adjusts relatively to how the graphic itself is, the ratio inside the wallet, inside the graphic, and it fills up the container, and then the rest is cut off or to some extent. And if I set it to 100, then it sort of squeezes whatever the size is, and it's always fits in. So if you're going to do that, then basically most of these things should look the same, only this here that could change a little bit. Not that much. The good thing is I would be able to keep that width here. Okay, because if that's the line number 10, line number 10, then we can set this one here to 3. Okay, I'm slightly confused. Why is that now the case? Okay, yeah, because he's always scaling everything, and that's not what we want. Put that back, put that back, put that in. Let's have these streams here. Okay. So now I have here a white line. That's number 15. And that one here is 29. So I'm going to place that one here and take this one here, put that in there, and then let's see what happens. Maybe it's better to start here with number 17, and that would be 26. So good. Then we say number 17 is 6. 17. So we add 6 here. That would be 6, 6, 6, and 24. Okay, so now they are aligned. Then we can say this one here is 27, 28, and 29. So 27, 28, and 29. That is all the same, and that here just applies to number 26. Okay, now can put that in here. 29. So change the file path. 7. Okay, and then we duplicate that one as well to number 27. And 27 will be Arbitrum right there. So we are going to make that blue. Let's separate 7. Oh, there it is. There it is. So that's this one here. Okay, so duplicate 8. Okay, this one here. And 29 is this one here. Okay, so we just close these ones and make sure that we are 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Ta-da! We have the connecting lines here. And we can then kind of do sort of the same thing for this one here, but I also 16, number 16. Okay, and there we have the background color. Okay. Okay, that's filled. Now we also need to apply this here 30. Okay, that's filled. And then we have 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay, so now okay, 28 is then BNB. And okay, so now this should have should be filled. Okay, a solid fill in there, and then we need to place this animation here. That's number 16, and we're going to apply that to number 30. So 16, line number 16. Okay, and that is actually valid for a few there. Actually, it's for 30. Is that 33? 2, 1. 30. 2. Okay. 2. Yeah, that's better. Now we need, it's a little bit too high. I mean, this is here just pixel pushing, but yeah, let's add one and adjust the width. Background. Two. And we have to increase that by 1, so it's exactly in the middle. That would be 19 then. That's 81, 181, 281. Oh, is that maybe so small that you don't really see them anymore? And that would be bad. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening here. Okay, no worries. We just increase that. Duplicate. Oops. No. Duplicate. 30. Okay. And then we just crank that up. What? What? Okay, so that's going to be interesting. Line number 30 is also a stream number 30. Oh, that's the reason. Okay, but where is... Sure how that happened. Okay, and if I change the width there now to you know what, let's hold it at 32, but I'm going to increase the stroke width by massive amounts. And also what if I say that's 100 but also 100% for that? Then we would at least get some pulsing back. Looks better. So we duplicate that. That's stream number 1. Whoops. That's stream 31. And duplicate stream 32. And stream 33. Okay, and stream 33 is in that case avalanche, which has this color code. Okay, then that's B and C. 32. So this one here, 31 is Arbitrum. This one here. Okay. So now these should be fine. Nope. Yeah. It's good to have the graphics, but without the images to it wouldn't work. There. Bam. Up, 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 up. Okay, and ta-da! We have our outgoing stream animations in there. It's super, super, super tiny, but they're also super, super tiny streams, so. Good. Now we can add this line here and here and here and here. And once that's in place, I just need to figure out how to manage the bridging from here and from here. From here, it's not that big of an issue because each one has its own lines, and I just export them, make a gradient, and it gets this shift from the Gnosis chain symbol to the specific networks. That's not the problem. The real problem is how I drew this here, because it looks like it got routed through Optimism, and then Optimism gave it further to Arbitrum, and Arbitrum then gave a portion to BNB, and then it gave a portion, the last portion, to Avalanche. But at the same time, so everything worked as a snap in there, when in fact it's more like this approach here. So from that account, there should be separate arms going out there, or I'll change that a little bit and let there go out like 4 different lines. Then here are 3, here are 2, and here's 1. So it's still obvious that it started in this area. And the good thing is that the element here is way bigger, so the line, so I have more space to start with the lines in here. I think we're going to do that then later on. Okay. And I also dropped this one here, the Sentinels. It's because I privately funded them. I think so. And okay, well, let's place this one line in here then, and I'd like to grab that. And this one here will be here from the sushi. That's 22. Let's see what happens. I mean, in the worst case, it looks like shit. But we are going to increase 20 and 7. So we said that's 22, line 22. Save that. Open up 22, and 22 is, as we know now, is an optimism. So we are going to catch the optimism colors here. Okay. Put that in here. Full. Let's, oops, kill that one. Okay. Then we, what, 22? Is it? Oh yeah, it's 22. So we put that one here because we already know that that here is going to be 22. Then the next one is 23, 24, and 25. Let's double check before we do everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 75. So we now know that this one here is 7 pixels high and 20 on left, so we let it at 10 pixels just for the sake of fun, and we apply just 1 to all of them. That would be 22, right? First one. And we take a look. If we magically see a line here. Okay, we do see a line here, but for some reason that line is way too small. Why is that the case? 22. There's still a line. That's the width. Why? Oh, wouldn't that mean that I need here also more? No. Huh. Okay, so I do need to double those. Maybe there's something I missed in the past. So we're going to make 20 and 60 out of this. Then we take a look. Then we put that back to normal. Then we upload it again for some reason. Oh. Nope. So, hide. Can it be that I hide? I'm slightly confused. Slightly. Whoops. We have here now 20. Where is it? 22. That's the line. The height. The height says 14. The width doesn't give a fuck. So the width is 14 and the height is 14, 14, 40. Okay. I'm getting a little bit confused, but it's not the first time. So we now have this one here, and then we accept this one. So that's 22. That's also 22. Then we can get rid of that. Copy that. Import that. Then we have 23, 24, and 25. 23, 24, 25. Okay. Then we had there 2. We duplicate that. Say 23, and 23 is Arbitrum in that case. So we exchange the color code. Upload that. Duplicate it. So it's 24. We know 24 is in that case polygon, so we exchange the color code, upload it, duplicate it, so we know it's 25, and we know that avalanche is 25, so we exchange the color code, upload it, and now this here should look fairly finished. Yeah, I mean, it's good. And 1.5 minutes below the 3-hour mark. So I would say for now, we are going to let that how it should be. We're gonna let that slide. And then we are going to take a look the next stream how to, we're going to start with these arms here because I know how to build them, and figure out something new to make it obvious that these here go through all of them. We're probably going to draw that first in Photoshop or in Illustrator, just to get a feeling if that looks good or if it's shitty. And then I would say the next thing is then the timeline here down below, so you can see when what happened. Then next thing will be the hover effects, and then the next thing would be if you hover it, that it shows different infos. And yeah, and then I might even have to take a look how to bring all of that into a normal viewport, or if I need to let it move while I'm building everything on top. But the good thing is since everything is now in this one important transactions container, I can also use a scale function to use transform scale and simply scale it down to whatever amount I want, and I can make it super duper big or super duper small, and it's all in my power to do it. And that's the base, that's the good thing in there. Or just do it like that and let everyone guess what it means. So 75, so it could be like this, and the hover effects still work because everything are just div containers. It's a stupid way to build it, but it opens up a new possibility later on, and also it's more straightforward than later on to turn it and make it vertical for the mobile phones. All right, so I'm gonna kill that here. I think I might close these ones here also down to 5 pixels instead of 10. I think it should be at some kind of ratio, because it really looks a little bit broken here. Could be also if I just make the lines smaller and then, yeah, but I think I'll change the let's do that right now. So I have here, that is the one I want to start with first. That's 26. So I'll go with right calc 100% plus 5 pixels. But since I stole now basically 10 pixels, I need to fill it up and make it 50 so it looks exactly the same. Why is that? Maybe there's some caching going on. It doesn't care. Six. Okay, and then we're going to dial that down also to 1. Whoops. Yeah, that's better. So we dial that one to 1. That also 1 to 1. To 1. Okay. Yeah, that's more like it. And now we're also going to do that to the previous one. So it's going to be right a little bit less, a little bit more. So it's near there. Then we make sure that, which one is it? This one. Let's go with 16, and then we have 22, 23, 24, 25. And there is a stroke width. It's 1. Let's save that. Let's see if that looks good. It does not. Around 25. Okay, let's load that new, and that looks better, I would say. Okay, that's good. So we are just going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 additional lines, then 4 additional lines, also 4 additional lines from the analysis chain treasury, then 4 additional lines from the expansion contract here to display that, and then the visualization is basically done. Then we can start building these boxes here, which is super straightforward. That's just padding on top that we place down there below. That's the box. That's super easy to do. Then we place that also relatively to that corner here on top in there, so we can also scale that. And then we are going to make the list down below, which is going to be tricky to have it look good. But once that's done, we just need to make the connection to the boxes and then make it super nice to float up. I still don't like that the animation here stops at one point, because that means you could suggest that it reopened, but I think that's probably just something that I notice and nobody else will have noticed that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the end, all I did today was add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24 lines, which isn't much of an achievement for 3 hours, but step by step. Okay, so it's still going to be a long road, but we're slowly but steadily getting somewhere. Good. I would say now we can see. That also doesn't look good, so you really need to keep that 16:19 ratio at some point. Okay, good. So, 10 minutes over the expected timeline, but I think that's in the margin of error. And perfectly. Also, the second beer is gone, so I can go to bed now. Okay. Next stream will be on Thursday, so in 3 days. Always the same time. At 8:30 p.m. European winter time now, guessing from the temperature. Yeah, I've also been thinking about making a task list or a to-do list to show. I mean, I do have these this roadmap in here, but that's more likely for the launch itself. So if it's deployed here, these will be black then too. This here would be black, the website v2, the faucets will be get deployed, that's black then too. And these ones here, yeah, they're still in progress, these last things, but for the stream itself, it's hard to tell. Oh. No? So what's still on the to-do list. So I think I'm gonna make a standard graphic or something that I can show in the beginning and go step by step what has been done, and also check off a few of those things. I mean, I do have a long list in my README in there, but it's just a plain text file. It's not that entertaining to look at. So probably until Thursday I won't work on the website itself, but maybe create this create the to-do sheet or something like that. As you can see, maybe in the meantime the Twitch layout itself changed a little bit. It still has this 16:9, but I ditched the secondary screen because it was so small that nobody could see anything else. It was more like this full disclosure part. But it turns out it's not that bad to have one screen to the side where you can place stuff that shouldn't be live on stream, personal messages, or any codes or something like that, like seed phrases or something like that. And I also the animations I built last time I also split it up. So in the center of the layout is now the fraction token logo, which is the animated SVG file that's running here in infinite loop. But also to the left, the networks where the token gets deployed, and to the right, the platforms and protocols and everyone that the token is relying on to do that job. Without it, it wouldn't be possible. I mean, there's no chance I can write a DAO like Snapchat does, or run my own DEX or something like that. So, or not to mention the Superfluid protocol or the Connext routers. Like that. So I'll like to circle that through there in the corner, because it kind of shows which other projects are, I wouldn't say involved. I would say, I mean, they are involved, but they themselves are not involved. Their technology is involved in the project. So I thought that's a good fit to also place it here on the stream. Because, as always, if you have any questions or something, feel free to reach out on the Minerva Discord, or on Telegram, or just join the next Twitch stream and ask any question in the stream chat. That's probably right now the best place to tune in and ask questions, because there I can explain it in more detail, and also we can have a little bit back and forth if anything is unclear, or if there's any point that I didn't think of yet. So, I mean, I'm not perfect, so there's probably at least 5 critical logic errors in the whole project, I would say. And it starts with that one, that the token has no real life use case. Which is, yeah. Alright, so we are 3 hours and 60 minutes in. I'll hit the ending button now and see you on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, who's ever still watching that viewer number 1 there.